Well, good morning. I didn't tell you, but this is going to be interactive. So surprise, I'd like you to just kind of get ready while I start telling my story, be getting ready to stand up. Because I have 3 things I'd like you to listen to closely, and I say each of them. I'm going to ask you to be brave and stand up with me. So the first, if you've ever felt called to do something, and like you couldn't just not do that thing, and you weren't really sure if it would work out, but you were called, be brave with me and stand up. Second, if you've ever felt you had to control your own destiny, whether it was at work, in a relationship, or whatever, I'm going to ask you to be brave with me and stand up. And third, if you've ever felt that you had to help other people, that you had to make a positive difference in the world, whether it was starting a business on another continent, right here in SLO, a nonprofit, I'm going to ask the rest of you that might be sitting to please be brave with me and stand up. So I think you can relate to how I felt on November 2016. I could not sit down any longer. I literally had to be brave and stand up for what I believed in. But you guys can sit down while I finish. So because I couldn't sit any longer, 10 short weeks later, my co-organizers and I found us amidst thousands. We had raised in 10 weeks $30,000. We had an email list of 7,000. We had a social media following of 3,000. And on January 21st, I found myself across the street in the gazebo, standing in front of a crowd of 10,000 who were staring back at me, looking for hope and inspiration as I did the opening remarks for the march. So the days leading up were, I'll just say it, they were totally crazy. Before planning the march, I think I saw the fire chief out here somewhere. Before I planned the march, and there's the police chief, I think, I'd never set foot in a police station before planning this event. And I'd never spoken to more people than really our school board or a couple of our school sites, so let alone 10,000 people. And actually, embarrassingly, I'd never been to a march or a rally before. But the best part of this was the newness of getting to create who I wanted to be. As we all know, the days after the election brought out a lot of emotion, a lot of anger. And I'm not saying that that's not justified. But as my co-organizers and I watched the interest in the march build, we really had to do some soul searching. We could let others control our narrative, we could jump on the wave of anger, or we could do the harder work of creating the positive and just future that we want and honestly all people deserve. So we chose the third option. We adopted a relentless focus on positivity and inspiration amidst tumultuous times. And this stance has really resonated in the community. Last Saturday, we had thousands rally at Mission Plaza. January 2018 was proclaimed Women's March San Luis Obispo Month by 4 different cities. We have a documentary now that's been accepted to the SLO International Film Festival. You can grab a postcard at the back. And this is particularly special to me. On Monday, I found out that I am the sole invitee of Congressman Carbajal to attend the President's State of the Union address in Washington, D.C. So if you had asked me a year ago, I could have not told you that today I would be at the center of a movement. I couldn't have told you that I could bring thousands to the street to get excited about voting. I couldn't have told you that I would soon be sitting in the same room as the President of the United States. And I couldn't have told you that I'd be invited to Good Morning SLO. Huge honor. But because I couldn't say no to my calling, I couldn't say no to controlling my future, and I couldn't say no to others, here I am. It's a huge honor, so thank you for having me.